love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Good afternoon and welcome to a super special edition of Money Matters. You have no idea how excited I am today. I mean, we are talking about taxes and it's Christmas time, and yes, those two go together. Because if you're driving around and you're stuck in holiday traffic trying to get some last minute gifts, the good news is you're probably getting a tax cut. You've heard everything from both sides of the aisle about what this tax cut means for you, and we're going to break it down right here today. We're here to break down really arguably the most historic tax cut in the history of American politics and what it means for you. That's really what matters here today. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the corporate side because you know the big corporations are getting a pretty big tax cut. But for 2018, you, the individuals in America, families in America, are getting an even bigger tax cut than corporations. So we're going to talk about what this means for your wallet. Again, most of you are going to get a tax cut in 2018. For some of you, taxes will stay about flat. And for a small percentage of the population, I'm going to tell you, let's put it probably an enraged portion of the population, the lower end of the upper 1% is actually going to get a little bit of a tax increase potentially. Ouch. Particularly if you live in a really high tax state like California, New York, New Jersey. Today, we're talking to, you're probably driving around Atlanta traffic, stuck somewhere, and you're in the Southeast. So you don't have to worry about that as much because Georgia state tax is only 6% relative to the big tax states like California that can get upwards of 10, 11, 12, 13%. So we are talking specifically, and we are live, by the way. And if you haven't tuned in, I'm Wes Moss. I'm here on WSB for market updates, economic updates with Scott Slade in the Atlanta Morning News every morning. And then on Sundays from 9 until 11, every Sunday. And we're here, we do live show about what's happening in the economy, the stock market, how to get to retirement a little bit sooner. I authored a book called You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So all this plays back into how we get to retire a little bit quicker and specifically what this tax cut really means to you because it impacts everything about your planning. And there's a lot of impact for next year. What are you going to do with all that extra money? And if you're going to get a tax increase, well, you got to plan for it a little bit. So that's what we're going to answer your questions today. We're live. You're driving around the city. You're stuck in traffic. And hopefully this is an absolute treat. I promise you that this is not going to be some sleepy show about the minutia of taxes. We're talking about the 10 biggest impacts of this tax reform bill to individuals. Again, not companies, to individuals. And we're going to do it live on the air. I also have a tax calculator that has all the new variables or most of the new variables for the new tax plan. I've been using this for several months, telling our audience on Money Matters on Sunday morning that we thought we'd get a tax cut. I thought it would happen in January or the first quarter of 2018. It happened really the fourth quarter of this year. I've been anticipating this for a very long time, so I've been studying it. And yes, very recently as it got passed, a couple of small changes. That's in the tax plan, the Trump tax plan calculator that I'm going to use today. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples of families that you might be able to relate to. Married, single, kids, no kids, mortgage on the house, no mortgage on the house. And we're going to give you some examples of families where the taxes are going down a bunch, staying flat, and maybe even going up. And I'll tell you if your taxes are going up, down, or staying flat. Up, down, or staying flat. Today here on this very special edition of Money Matters. I don't know what else to call this, but shock and awe tax cuts. Shock and awe tax cuts. Again, big picture, first of all, this is a giant tax cut and a boon for the U.S. economy. I don't care what you hear. And I talked about that this weekend on, I've been talking about these recent surveys from, 41 out of 42 liberal economists say that this isn't going to do anything for the economy over the next decade. Or maybe it won't even do all that much over the next couple of years. We're about to drop $205 billion in new stimulus on this economy in 2018. About $85 billion of that's going to companies, and about $120 billion of that is going to individuals. So it's going to have a major impact on the economy. And when it comes to you specifically, I'm going to say around 90% of you are going to see a net pay increase. A net pay increase. So this is the perfect time, and that's why I'm playing Christmas vacation music, because we're right here before Christmas. It's my wife's favorite movie. She watches it 6 to 10 times throughout the holidays. Every time we're wrapping presents and every day leading up to Christmas, it's her favorite movie. But there's a lot of parallels here. It's Christmas in America, and you're getting a tax cut. 90% of Americans have just been given the gift that keeps on giving.
Clark, it's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Yeah, and this is not the Jelly of the Month Club. This is not the Jelly of the Month Club, and I'm talking about the largest tax overhaul bill in the history of America. Bigger than the 1963 Kennedy tax cuts. Bigger, arguably 3, 4, 5 times bigger than the 2003 Bush tax cuts. And second only the 1981 tax cuts during Reagan. At least over the first 2 years, it's second to that. But I'd argue that it'll actually be a bigger overall tax cut when it's all said and done. And this is a 3-prong attack here. You've got corporate cuts, individual tax cuts, small business tax cuts. You put all that together, I don't know another time in America where we've had this coordinated of an effort that'll stimulate the economy. So I'm calling this shock and awe. I don't know any other way to put it. This is a very big. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.